Right, evening Andy.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously we thought we'd bring you in. You've arrived back at the club this summer. If I remember rightly, as a senior football advisor to start with, and then as a director of football more recently. So obviously a lot of people are probably wondering what the first title is. So a little bit about the first role.
Yeah, I mean, I left Clanfield in the summer, and Jamie and I got chatting about different things. We've known each other an awful long time, obviously, and he thought he could benefit from a fresh pair of eyes, someone that could set up an idea to build up a recruitment and scouting team, and just really to concentrate on the first team players, and to try and produce players both inside the club and obviously bring players into the club. And that was basically what the role was.
I mean, I've seen a few, obviously the guys who work alongside you down here and do some of the scouting for you. I know someone's even been to one of our opponents this season and given a look over at them, so it's quite a good role. Obviously someone yourself who's been around the local game for as long as you have, and you must have an amount of contacts, an endless amount.
Yeah, little black book. But my guys, I mean, what have I got? I think I've got 8 or 9 guys now that work for the club through me. Probably 4 or 5 of them are out Tuesday and Saturday every week, looking at games, looking at opposition, checking out players, checking out games in general. And I mean, one of my guys even went down to Taunton before the FA Cup tie down there. So yeah, we put in a lot of hard yards that people don't see to try and improve things in and around the club as much as we can.
I mean, also we've got quite a biggish squad as well, and quite a few young lads who are coming through the developments. When you look at other teams and how they play, do you often think that a loan spell maybe do them a certain amount of good at a team, or?
It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? It's a discussion we've been having. The problem that the club's got really is that the difference between Southern League football and the Hellenic League football is vast. Hellenic League Premier Division to Southern League isn't so much of a jump. You've got to be very careful not to, from a political point of view, you want players to play within your own club if you can, but the reality is that some players, maybe more senior, if they're not in the team, they're injured or whatever, need to go out on loan. So yeah, it's a combination of the two really. Yeah. I mean, we are hugely committed to bringing lads through the system, and that's always our first consideration. So yeah.
I mean, obviously, moving on quite falls into place really as a director of football and what you overlook in that capacity.
Yeah, I mean, I maintain all the things I was doing before. I passed a lot of things on to Lewis Cuss, who's now the head of scouting and recruitment. He does a lot of work for me. And the guys report into Lewis, and then he reports into me, and then me and Jamie sit down and we go through all the different detail and everything that we've got and make our own mind up about where we're going. The difference is, of course, I'm now responsible for the football club per se, and it's a very difficult and challenging situation to be in because we've got so many teams. We are thinly spread. You can't be everywhere. You can only be out so many times at night or whatever. But I mean, a classic example would have been a few weeks ago. We had all 3 teams playing here, so I watched the youth development team, then come and watch the development side, and then of course watch the first team. So like I say, we are watching all 3 or 4 teams within the club all the time, to look at progression and the way that players are developing.
I mean, obviously because I'm from the youth, and I bang the drum for the progression path, and you know, obviously the work that's gone on with the development teams the last 2 years, and how that's progressed to 7 lads actually signing for the first team this year. We've had a couple of the young under-16s who've stepped up and took to it like a duck to water in recent weeks. Obviously, it's a good. I think we're in a good place moving forward.
Well, in a very good place, but at the same time, we have a duty of care to young footballers, and it's been the same throughout all the time I've been involved in management and coaching. You want to develop your own players, you want to bring them through, but you've got to pick the right time to play them, and then pull them out and then put them back in. So you could have 6 players that are all good enough, but you couldn't stick 6 players like that all in the first team at the same time. It's a balance, and it's not fair on them. So, but yeah, I mean, as far as the club's concerned, it's really healthy on that front.
Yeah, I say we've got 29 teams in the youth, and I say we've got a lot of great young lads. The JPL side of things seems to have taken off, and I mean, I'm on my second time round with the youth teams, and the difference in the 5 years between the two teams is enormous. Really, the standard of what my team are playing at under 12s now is unbelievable compared to first time around.
Yeah, football improves all the time, and so do the demands.
Yeah.
But in terms of the director of football role, Jamie and I really have got a 3-year plan, and it's about standardisation, maybe in consolidation this season, progression next season, and then promotion in the 3rd season. Okay, if you're there and thereabouts, you take it and you grab it and go with it. But you have to have a project, you have to have a process, and you have to have a plan, and that's where we're at this moment in time. I mean, it's been difficult trying to get players to come to the football club, mainly because of the travelling. Which has done us no favours. Yeah. And so straight away you got that's going against you. But that's the plan, that's the process, and everybody that's in and around the management team is working hard to deliver it.
I mean, I think that's you've been here twice before, and you like you say you've known Jamie for years. So I think from my point of view, he's come in to help out the club since the start of the year. It seems quite an exciting time. I think we're certainly going in the right direction.
Yeah, you can feel it. It's really exciting, and really we're doing well on the pitch.
Yeah.
The first team are doing really well, considering we've lost two or three players. 2 or 3 lads have come back. 2 or 3 youngsters have come in and done well. So yeah, it's all very healthy.
Right. Well, thanks for that, Andy. Thank you for letting us a little insight into what you do.
Well,
Thank you very much.